Hello, everybody. We're getting back to regular content. It is March, which means we need a new shopping of my shelves and a TBR for the month. So let's jump into one. Okay. Hey guys. It's Alyssa. This is my first time filming after quite a wild weekend. Yeah. So, hey to everybody who's been here for a while. Hello to everybody who's new. I hope you stick around. You find something good to watch. If you don't enjoy this, that's cool too. I guess I just want to put some ground rules out since this is my first video after Croissant Gate, as I'm going to call it. Let's just be civil. I just want a community of people here that want to talk about books. If you have concerns about anything, feel free to express them. Just be respectful. Don't drag down into personal attacks or private assumptions about people. Keep it, keep it above the table, keep it above board, that kind of stuff. But if something bothers you, express it in a adult and civil manner. Does that make sense? Anyway, that's the disclaimer. Moving on. Every month, I go through my shelves and I pick out a stack of books to sort of focus on for the month because it helps me focus on getting through all the books that are around this place. I will give a little caveat for March. There's a bunch of stuff going on that seems to have eaten up a lot of the space on my TBR for books that perhaps would have been books that I owned that are now not books that I owned. There are a lot of library books on this list, I guess is what I'm getting at, because there's some things. I'm doing some things. I don't have a lot of physical books to show you. I basically is what I'm trying to tell you. Almost everything is borrowed in some way. We'll start off at the top with the TBR Lowdown, which is the podcast I run with my friend Naomi. Our pick for March, we are reading books over a 2-month period, basically. So sometime around the end of April, you should see a discussion pop up on the TBR Lowdown channel, which you can find. There's links to all kinds of things in the description. Check them out. I'm really bad at advertising all that stuff, but there's stuff down there. Check it out if you're interested. Anyway, but we are finally going to be reading my asthma sucks. We are finally going to be reading My Pen is the Wing of a Bird, which is a collection of short stories written by Afghani women. I have been dying to read this, and when we made our list for books and we were planning for TBR Lowdown, I was like, I want this to be on there. This is one of my die-hard picks for our bi-monthly book picks. I feel like bi-monthly is not the right word, but I think you guys get it. You're picking it up. This sounds phenomenal. It's a voice we don't hear in fiction often, the voice of a female Afghan, an Afghani woman. I'm going to speak very US centric for a second. I have not seen a lot of literature written by Afghani women in Afghanistan. I think that's a big piece of this is it's women living in Afghanistan. So this is, I'm very curious about this. Basically, that's the whole point. And the dogs keep barking, so I've lost my train of thought. That's the TBR Lowdown monthly pick for March. So the podcast also has a Patreon. It's very small, but we're excited to have a place where people want to support us. We're very proud of the podcast. So if you want to, it's up to you. One of the tiers is a buddy read tier. And the months that we don't have a book club pick for the community at large, we have a TBR Lowdown Patreon pick. And last month we picked Burial Rites by Hannah Kent, and we'll be reading that through March. So I will be starting that in March so that we can talk about it by the end of the month. We're very excited for this. We tried to pick something that everybody kind of had access to either in their homes already or could get on the library or thrift easily. Set against Iceland's stark landscape, Hannah Kent brings to vivid life the story of Agnes, who, charged with the brutal murder of her former master, is sent to an isolated farm to await execution. It's supposed to be rich in lyricism, according to this blurb I'm reading. Very curious about it. I'm starting it this week as of filming. In those lovely links down below is also information for my Patreon, which just exists. This is the Field of Dreams Patreon. If you build it, they will come. So we do pick a book every month and read it. Last month we read The New Life by Tom Crew, and so good. I hope that you guys all read it. Such a good book, so well written. I do hope it's on some prize lists in the coming months. I think it's eligible for at least maybe a Booker. I could be wrong. I'm not the best at the list. This month, we picked something that I have been waiting to read, and several people in my Instagram comments have told me that I need to read, and that is Age of Vice. So we are finally going to get to this. And yeah, if you want to join and hook into the Patreon, feel free. You don't have to. You can always just read it and tell me about it, and I'll talk to you about it too. I'm starting to really get into Discord more. I'm still learning how to like use Discord, especially in a like administrative function. So that's an uphill battle. But I do enjoy talking about books kind of in real time with people. It's the same way I feel about the Story Graph buddy read feature. It's so nice to just have like a channel where you can just be like, "Oh my God, I can't believe Harry did that." And it's so much fun. So really psyched for this one. It is chunky though, which doesn't bother me. But I guess there's like a chunky book thing for March. So I guess this fits. This will be my chunky book for March. Then I have a bunch of books that are going to be in relation to the Booktube prize, which if you don't know what the Booktube prize is, there is a Booktube book prize. It's usually from books from the previous year. There's a bunch of us across Booktube and other sort of reviewing platforms who read like 6 books every quarter, I want to say what it is. I just sign up for the emails. I get told to read a bunch of books and then I tier rank them in my 6 books and try not to talk about them too much on the internet because I don't know we don't know who's reading what, and you don't want to influence other people. But I do have 4 books for that, and I'm just gonna quickly show them in case for some reason anybody wants to tell me their thoughts about it. I guess you can. They are The Rabbit Hutch, Liberation Day, Demon Copperhead, which those last two kind of scare me a little bit, and Our Missing Hearts. Those are the 4 I have left that I need to read so that I can rank them all. I have a couple books that I haven't gotten to from last month that I really wanted to get to that my audiobook hold came in like end of the month, so I couldn't work them into like my driving/reading schedule. One is Dead Silence by S.A. Barnes, which I have had this arc for woefully too long, and it is time for me to read this. I have a feeling I'm going to be blown away, and I can't wait. Another one that finally came in is Nora Roberts' The Choice. I decided a couple months ago that because I had the first book in this series and the publishers had sent me this final book in the series, that I was just going to read my first ever Nora Roberts. I did. It's fine. I don't have any strong opinions on it, but since I have one final book in the trilogy to go, I'm going to finish it. It's kind of comforting. I feel like it's nice to have something like that on your list. I don't really have any cozy fantasy in here, which is weird, but maybe this will sort of fill that kind of gap. Because if you haven't noticed, I'm trying to build a little playlist of cozy fantasy for y'all because I love it so much. But maybe when I finish this will count. I don't know. It doesn't have low stakes, but like the vibes are kind of like they're kind of nice, heartwarming. For the Read the Booker book club, so every month I've been reading, if you haven't been here before, every month I've been reading along with Dee Dee Reads, her book club, a book from the Booker Prize from the previous year. So we've finished the short list as of February, and now we're on to the rest of the long list. And this is the book I've been most excited for because I've had this arc for a very long time. I couldn't get to it prior to coming out, and then it was on the Booker list, and then I decided to do this thing. And so I've been waiting patiently to read Maps of Our Spectacular Bodies. And I know this book plays with form. I know it's kind of sad. I know it's about cancer, and I want it to destroy me. I'm super psyched. Anything has to be better than last month's pick, which was a William. We're not time to talk about it. I did not like. That's all you need to know. I did not like a William. I only have 2 more physical books and then a couple ebooks and audiobooks that I kind of want to get to if I can in March. First is this lovely bind up that you're going to keep seeing, but we are on to The Two Towers. I don't know if you can see that. You can. So we are on to The Two Towers in March, but the first book was fine. I'm finding Lord of the Rings like fine. I'm not overly wowed by it. I guess maybe because I'm reading it after so many other things like touch points with the fandom that I'm not as I don't know, I feel like it's just approaching it from a different perspective than, say, if I had read this as a kid and just had this fresh experience with it. But I am enjoying it. I did not expect all the songs though. And I think considering I read book one sort of at the same time as I was reading or finishing up reading Gravity's Rainbow with all the limericks, like it was a lot. That was a lot for me, all of it. So, and then finally, I'm going to get to The Book Eaters by Sun Dean. I'm really bad at remembering to say people's names. I have only heard good things. What I know about this is that the premise is something like people eat books to gain knowledge or to stay alive. Let's see. And that was kind of enough. That vague understanding was enough for me. Out on the Yorkshire moors lives a secret line of people for whom books are food. Yeah, that's really all. I think that's all I read. And I was like, done. And who retain all of the book's content after eating them. To them, spy novels are a peppery snack. Romances are sweet and delicious. Eating a map can help them remember destinations, and children, when they misbehave, are forced to eat dry, musty pages from dictionaries. I hope I love it. It sounds so good, and I know I've heard so many good things. And it's from Tor, like it can't be bad. Madeline Miller has like a novella short story called Galatia, and I wanted to try it. It's very short. It's like 64 pages. It should be a nice quick like ebook read when I'm just sitting around somewhere. Yeah, it's a short story and it reimagines the myth of Galatia and Pygmalion, and I just thought it would be fun. I Jesus loves mythology of almost any nature, and I've been dabbling more into it to just kind of, I guess, understand things that he likes more. And this just seems nice. I did like Song of Achilles, so I should like it. Another short one, which I hope to get through this month, is Foster by Claire Keegan, because I loved Small Things Like These. I think I said that right. Small Things Like These, which was a Booker Prize that was on our short list. I really enjoyed that one. We read it the same month we read Treacle Walker, so I think that pairing just made me like it even more because Treacle Walker made no sense to me. It could be magical and brilliant and amazing, but we are not here to discuss Treacle Walker. Just another short book that sounds really good. I want to read more from this author. That's really all it is. If you've read it, please let me know what you think about it. I have Midnight's Children by Salman Rushdie, which I keep putting off the audiobook for when my hold comes in, because this will be my third Rushdie when I do decide to finally say yes to it. I don't know how I feel about Rushdie yet, because I feel like this will be the book that clinches whether or not I really like Salman Rushdie and want to keep reading his works, or if like he's fine for me. Like he's fine. He's not somebody that I really need to like read their entire back catalog. So I think there's a little bit of fear there at finally putting a period at the end of that sentence. But anyway, so that's a potential. The last book that I really want to read is Because of Kieran over at Katie Books, and he is doing a whole thing for March to celebrate Welshness and Welsh authors, arts, all of that. And one of the books that he really, really wants everybody who can read to read is One Moonlit Night by, I can't say his name, Mr. Pritchard. Kieran will correct me in a voice note, I'm sure. This is named the greatest Welsh novel by the Wales Arts Review. It's a beautifully rendered novel telling the story of a boy's hard-scrabbled life in rural Wales and his challenging yet at times transcendent journey into adulthood. In the 1910s, in a village of Bethesda, is a place of poverty and religion, illness and hard labor, but by the light of a full moon, our narrator and his friends witness a side of their Welsh village life that they had no idea existed, and their innocence is exchanged for the shocking reality of the adult world. It sounds really good. I'm not gonna lie. It sounds good. So I am excited to get to this one. It's a short little one too, so I have this on my Kindle to read. So that's a lot of books. And I'm going to get distracted and put something else on there. I won't get to all of them. I'm sure I won't. I'm sure I'll sub in something else. But this is the plan for now. I would love to know anybody's thoughts on any of these. If you have any book recommendations at all for me, please let me know down below in the comments. Otherwise, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video, whatever it may be, because it's my channel and I can do whatever I want. Bye. So just sit with me, talking to the night until the morning, building
find another way to say this, but I think